I found the mother load, baby. We got 2 chests down here. Bruh. They got fucking mimic chests in this? Holy shit, dude. And it fucking one. Bruh. How that shit gonna one-shot me? Yo, what's up everyone? So the Souls-like genre is alive and well, kinda. I mean, other than like 2D Metroidvanias inspired by the Souls genre, I'm looking at you, Hollow Knight. To be completely honest, most of the games in this category have been serviceable at best. Yet, the search goes on, and I'll be honest guys, Asterigos already has a special place in my heart. Looks can be deceiving in Asterigos, and while yes, this looks like your typical animated adventure game, more in line with say like Phoenix Rising, which they obviously took inspiration from in terms of aesthetic, this game is full of the Souls DNA from the beginning, where you frustratingly cannot fast travel until you progress to a certain point, to the Metroidvania inspired level design and even mimic chests like I showed in the beginning. Developers Acme Game Studio very obviously love the Souls games as much as we do, and it shows. And they've managed to mix up the formula in unique ways that make it an easy game to recommend, even though it does ultimately fall just short of being great. So let's talk about it. Asterigos takes place in Aphis, a city inspired by Greek and Roman mythologies and architecture. The main basis of your journey, from what I could surmise, is basically there's a curse on the city and you have to like find your dad and shit. I don't know really. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I'm not a huge story guy unless it's like super engaging or the main draw of the game itself. And I will say though, if you are that type of person, there is so much fucking lore in this game, like so much. You could easily add hours to your gameplay if you're the type of person that wanted to read about the complex and nuanced history of Aphis, and from what I've read, it's actually decently written. But also just like way too much in my opinion. Sure, it's easily skipped, but damn man, I think the majority of us agree, especially in like the Souls-like genre, that nuance over explanation wins hands down. Why spoon feed us a story that could be so much more impactful through contextualization and self-discovery? Just my 2 cents. When it comes to combat though, Asterigos is much closer to Souls, with some key differences that I feel expanded upon as opposed to just purely mimicked the genre. As opposed to picking up new weapons as you go, you start off with all 5 weapons that you'll use throughout the game. The combat is fast and fluid and actually feels a little bit more like an action RPG with how the combat works and looks. Your regular attacks do not use stamina, instead your sprint, your roll, and like skill moves such as parry use your stamina, and as a result, the action here feels like it's constantly moving forward in a flurry of fast and devastating attacks. Throughout the 25 plus hours I spent playing Asterigos, I'm happy to say that even with me only using 3 out of 5 of the weapons through my entire playthrough, due to the huge skill tree, the combat felt refreshing right to the very end. And the game actually encourages multiple playthroughs in its trophies and setup, so I definitely see the allure of going back and doing, for example, a pure mage build instead of the parry heavy combat I chose on my first round. And let's talk about the bosses for a second, man. Yo, these motherfuckers hit like a tank. And while nowhere near the level of masterclass that Elden Ring's bosses are, I would say that they're closer to that than Dark Souls. You can expect multiple phases, fast and ferocious combat, and unexpected twists and layers throughout the 20-something bosses you'll face. Though, I do have one issue with the bosses that I want to rant about a second, and that's because Asterigos commits one of the cardinal sins for any Souls-like, and that's including a difficulty slider. Like, bruh, why the fuck do you do this to us? While I did beat all the bosses on the challenge difficulty, they felt extremely unbalanced at times because of the lack of focus on one difficulty that the Souls genre is known for. Like, this is Souls 101, were you not paying attention in class? Anyways, The game also boasts that there are 60 plus regular enemies as well, and while I never counted them, the sheer variety was extremely impressive. And not what I expected, though to be fair, the mechanics for them were never really mind-blowing by any means. Also, I wanted to mention that as opposed to losing souls on your death, or whatever that equivalent would be, you actually only lose a percentage of your currency, and your XP bar continues to level up no matter how many times you die, which was actually a nice change. In terms of performance, the game actually ran excellent for me throughout. One thing I do need to mention though is the frame rate for enemies when they're more than a couple feet from you is god awful, like one of the worst I've seen. Though surprisingly, it never really took too much away from my experience and all. All in all, this was a class act first showing from the veteran staff at Acme Game Studios, and I absolutely recommend this indie gem for anyone in the market for another Souls-like in their library. While, like I said in the beginning, it misses just short of being a great game, it is a good game, and for the amount of content you get in this $35 package, it's a no-brainer. Really hoping for a follow-up to this game. The game's a 7.5. Thanks for watching.